Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
1 sec.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Hello. I'm also here.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, take a look.
Hij kan ze lekker aan. Wie gibt deze doel of haast? Wie gibt er of haast? Hashtag ook mag je een master show. Een master show. En een show. Een master show. Hoe liep het? Ik liep een master show. Aha, oké, zo. Ich hab mal hier, also was für eine Show gemessen. Ich hab nicht gedacht, die ist in einer Show. Ich hab noch nicht geliebt. Hast du noch nicht geliebt? Ich hab noch zur Show. Ich hab noch nicht reden, aber ich hoffe, sie nicht vertragen. Das sind ganz ambitious, aber ich gebe eine Regel. Stil. Halbe Show. I know, you make it up alone. I know, you make it up alone. I know. Halbe Show, wenn sie da, halbe Show. Ich muss alles auf nie. Die kann ich jetzt anschauen, Weißt du, sie hat die. Einmal zum Trinken von der Liebe. Ich hab einen Programm. Halbe. Liebe.
What is that? I don't know.
Liebe.
This one here.
Liebe, die haben sie jetzt zu einer Nacht. Such euch, wie heißt die? Die heißt Für wie ist es so spät? Flat? Wo sind die Trappen? Hey, wie viel geschieht in Flat? Kleiner Tun. Oh, Tun Negel ist ein Anwärmer. Regel? Kann man nicht schnallen. Nur was hier. Also an Negel schnallen. Direkt. Wo sucht er? Er sucht. So, man Negel wachsen bis immer auf Fokus an Negel schnallen, okay? Oh, so eigentlich schon ein bisschen schief. So, dann gehen wir all over. Mach's das schon. Die Host ist keine Ahnung. Zieh dir nicht auf. Ich verstehe eigentlich. Das ist der erste Move, den Fuß auf der Weg.
Kälemi ist schon nach mir aufgebaut.
Jetzt hat er die mir jetzt mutige Kanzel auf Verhältnis und sie essen, sie anstecken. Die Geister sendet wie Geister. Verhältnis kannst du. Ich dachte, wenn ich schon verhältnis, kriegst du dich alle Ruhe. must get a soft spot out your outside ass. Die ist ein Point, das ist gut. Aber der Häschen, der wird der Emmes-Ding. Het is een lelijke shows in deze touchstones. Deze touchstones. En het is gewoon een stap aan van hoe de shows kunnen op de wereld.
Wow, das weiß man nicht.
Das weiß man.
Okay. Very good. We have with us tonight, all the way from Ramat Shlomo, Rabbi Daniel Hool, who told me he's actually going to be late tonight. I'm not sure how he had Kvitzas Aderech, but he managed to get here on time. So we would like to welcome Rabbi Daniel Hool. If we're really lucky, he'll be giving us a gun display, maybe even a few shots.
No. Can you hear me?
We hear you good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Audio's good?
Yes.
I've got a different surprise for you at the end of the shir if you all listen carefully.
Very good. We're looking forward. Okay, Rabbi Daniel, the stage is all yours.
1 second. Let me just check this. Get the box out of the way, see if there's any better. How's that? Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, I can do.
Fantastic. We're ready to go, are we?
Yeah.
Audio's good. Audio's good. Fantastic, Rabbi.
Hey,
okay. Okay. How many guys we got on? A lot of guys. Okay, good evening, Rabbi. Since it's coming up to Bishvat, so we've got some amazing stories tonight in Yitz Hashem. And let me kick off with a historical fact. So there was an English guy, a very clever English guy, and his name was Sir Isaac Newton. Anyone ever heard of Sir Isaac Newton? Sir Isaac Newton was the first scientist who discovered gravity. How discovered gravity? Well, there's a place called Grantham-upon-Spey, or I think it's Grantham-on-Spey or not. Anyway, Grantham in the UK, in the United Kingdom. And a few hundred years ago, this guy called Sir Isaac Newton, he was sitting under the tree. He was sitting under an apple tree. And this is Kedai to mention, coming up to Tu B'Shvat, about the Paris and the inspiration we get from Paris. So Sir Isaac Newton was sitting under this tree, and the wind blew, and an apple came down, fell down, boom, and hit him on the head. And he started to think to himself, why did the apple hit me on the head? And then he realized that there's something called gravity. Gravity is when you have two physical masses, there is an attraction, there is a mashicha from one towards the other. Whenever you have two masses together. That means that the bigger the mass or the masses, the stronger is the mashicha, like magnetism. Just like magnetism, there's something called a kach mashicha between two masses. So then he realized that the reason why the apple falls down and hit him on the head when the wind blew is because there's the planet Earth, which is the big ball, and then there's the apple, which is the very small ball. And as soon as it gets the apple's cut off from the tree, it pulls down, the gravity of Earth pulls down the apple, and therefore it hit him on the head. Now, Rabbi, let me ask you something. What on earth was Plato and Aristotle and Archimedes and all these Greek scientists and scientists for thousands of years, what on earth were they thinking when an apple blew off the tree in front of them? Now, this is quite profound, Rabbi Isai. You see, what am I getting at? Unless you have betochen and you think clearly, you can be an absolute idiot, even if you may be a genius. What do I mean? Rav Shach Zatzal was in hospital once, and a doctor came in and started discussing the heart. Whatever Rav Shach's condition, he started discussing the heart. And Rav Shach said to him, Zatzal, he says, isn't it amazing? Isn't it absolutely amazing how HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates the human body with the heart, with the different compartments of the heart, and it powers and it pushes the blood around the body? And the Chiloni professor, the irreligious professor, who was listening to Rav Shach, shrugged his shoulders and says, it's a pump. I don't know what you're so misspelled about. It's a simple pump. What do you mean it's a simple pump? How did the pump get there? Let's go back to the apple a second, right? What idiots were they when they were thinking that when the wind blows and the apple falls down, what was everyone thinking before Sir Isaac Newton came along for 2,000, 3,000 years? You know what they were thinking? Listen to what they were thinking. They were thinking the wind blows and it cuts the apple off the tree. Do you know why? The apple falls down? Because there's nothing holding up the apple. There's nothing holding up the apple, and therefore the apple falls down. That is so stupid. Isaac Newton came along and said, well, when the apple gets disconnected from the tree, so what if there's nothing holding up the apple, but there's no reason why the apple should go down more than upwards? I understand that if the apple gets cut off from the tree, there's nothing holding it up. Okay, but what's pulling it down? Why doesn't it stay there? Why doesn't the apple go upwards? Why doesn't the apple go sideways? Now, this, gentlemen, is not genius rocket science. This is absolute stupidity for thousands of years of the most intelligent scientists in the world. They didn't realize there's something called gravity. You know what they thought? They thought the reason why the apple is down is because there's nothing holding it up. That makes no sense whatsoever. So what if there's nothing? You needed Isaac Newton to come along a couple of hundred years ago and discover that you know why the apple goes down? Because there's something called gravity and the earth pulls down the apple. And everyone else, with all their genius, was so stupid because they were saying, well, it goes down because there's nothing holding it up. Yeah, there's nothing holding it up, says Isaac Newton. But why does it go down? Why doesn't it go upwards? So that's a basic, simple thing which geniuses missed for thousands of years until Isaac Newton comes along and discovers it. Rav Shach was telling this doctor, you idiot, I know it's a pump, but who put the pump there? Where did the pump come from? Do you not see the genius, the design of the Rabbi Shalom, that he created a human being with Ramach Evorim Shesor Gidim, and you didn't build it? It just, as soon as the child's born, it grows by itself, Kaviyachol. It grows by itself. Of course, Kodesh Baruch Hu is Malava, everything is doing everything. But the Chiloni professor says, well, it's a pump. He doesn't see anything more than the pump. Just like the scientist before Isaac Newton says, well, the apple goes down because there's nothing holding it up. That makes no sense at all. So what? The Rabbi say, if someone asks you, can you prove the existence of the Rabbi Shalom with one word? If anyone ever asks you, prove to me the existence of the Rabbi Shalom with one word, you can do it. You know what that word is? The word is design. That word is the proof of the Rabbi Shalom. It says, I look at my guf, I look at my body, and I see the Rabbi Shalom. How on earth is it possible that I take an apple, I eat the apple, and I don't know what to do with it, but my body knows exactly what to do. It separates out the energy and the enzymes, and it breaks down, and the waste comes out, and the solid waste comes out in one direction, and the liquid waste. Nisim v'niflayos, design. The fact that we have such a body, that is a proof in itself, Chazal tell us, of the existence of Rabbi Shalom. You've got to be so stupid if you don't see these things. Now, so Isaac Newton actually proved in a lab, he proved the existence of gravity. What did he do? Listen to this, and you'll see where I'm going with this. So if I want to prove that there's a kach meshicha, there's gravity between two objects in the Rabbi Shalom's world, what do I do? So he takes one huge lead ball and he hangs it from the ceiling and he ties it down. So you've got this lead ball suspended in midair. And then you take a tiny little lead ball next to it and you do the same thing. So you have two balls suspended on a wire and also tied down by the bottom wire. And we actually did this in school, in Menorah Grammar School many years ago, to prove gravity. How can you prove gravity? Well, what should happen is when you cut the bottom wire of the small ball, then the gravitational pull of the big ball will slowly pull the small ball towards it. However, because the gravitational pull of the big ball is so small, you're not actually going to see the small ball move because it's so small. The movement of the smaller ball towards the bigger ball is so tiny that how are you going to see it with your eyes? So the scientists came up with a very, very clever idea. If we shine a light behind these two balls and we create a shadow on the table, that would mean that the smallest movement of this small ball towards the bigger ball, the smallest, tiniest movement will make a huge difference on the shadow. The shadow will multiply it. And if I look at the shadow on the table of the smaller ball and I cut bottom wire, what's going to happen? Even though with my eyes I won't see a movement of the smaller ball, but on the shadow, because it's moving, I will see the shadow move. And that is a way in a laboratory you can actually prove the existence of gravity. You take the two balls and you cut the wire or you release the smaller ball, and every time that small ball will move a tiny little bit towards the bigger ball, a tiny little bit. You won't see the movement of the ball with your eyes, but when you look at the shadow on the table, any tiniest, if it's a 1/10 of a millimeter, 100th of a millimeter, you will see the shadow move. And you can mark the shadow with a pencil on the table and watch the shadow move. And that is a proof of gravity. Now, why do I tell you this? Well, so many years ago, I was listening to a Frum radio station, and they came on a Baal Teshuvah. And they asked him, what inspired you to become a Baal Teshuvah? How did you become a Baal Teshuvah? So he said, I'll tell you what happened. He says a few years ago, and I remember actually when I was in school, it was only a few decades ago that scientists discovered what is a black hole, the Halal HaShachor. Now, if any of you know anything about astronomy or space or anything like that, you look through a telescope, and in the night sky, there's trillions and trillions of stars, and there's something called a black hole. What is that? As in all this massive stars, you see this literally a hole, a black hole, and everything around it is spiraling towards the black hole, just like when you pull a plug in your bath and the water spirals down through the plug hole. So all the stars around it are spiraling around towards the center of the black hole, and they don't know what it is. So they had a question, the scientists had a question: what is the black hole? What's there? And why are all the stars around spiraling around towards the black hole? And for thousands of years, even though they saw it with their telescopes, they had no idea what the black hole was until they suddenly discovered what it is. And I'm about to tell you what a black hole is. You see, we just spoke recently about, in the last few minutes, about gravity. Now, listen to this. The stronger, the more dense the mass, the stronger is its gravitational pull. The more kaved it is. So there are some stars out there that if you were to take a capful, a thimbleful of that planet, a bit of that Earth, it would weigh 100,000 tons on planet Earth. That's how dense it is. Lead is very heavy. It's heavier than tin, and it's heavier than aluminium. So a small amount, a teaspoon of a piece of this planet, if you were to put it on planet Earth, it would go straight down. It would weigh 100,000 tons. That's how dense it is. So you have what a black hole is. Listen to this: is this piece of rock, piece of planet, which is so dense. It is so heavy. Its gravitational pull is fantastic. What does that mean? Light rays is a wave. Light is a wave. When I look at the sun is 8 light minutes away from me, which would mean that if the sun were to suddenly blow up, I would only see it blow up with my eyes 8.5 minutes later, because traveling at the speed of light, it would take 8 minutes for me to get to the sun and the sun to get to me. That means if the sun blows up, then I will only see that image of the sun exploding in 8 minutes' time. That's how far the sun is. Okay. But what the scientists discovered is that light rays are a sort of an electromagnetic, some type of wave that gravity can actually affect light. We can actually bend light with gravity, which means if I have a really strong, powerful gravitational pull, I can actually bend light. That means, in theory, if I'm looking at something and someone brings a huge piece of rock which is really super dense, he can actually pull that light sideways, and if I look at it there, I'm not looking in a straight line, I will get a distortion of the light. So they discovered that light can actually be affected by gravity. So you know what they realized a black hole was? You know what a black hole is? A black hole in space is a piece of rock which is so super dense that it pulls back any light rays coming off it. So if you were to shine a light at it, a spotlight at this black hole, this piece of rock, it has got such a powerful gravitational pull, it doesn't let any light escape from it. Any light coming off it is pulled back with the gravitational pull. So what do you see? You just see a black hole. And that explains why everything around it is just constantly spiraling towards the black hole. It's getting sucked into the black hole. It's not a black hole at all. It's a black piece of rock which is eating up all the stars around it as they go slamming into it. And this piece of rock, this planet, is getting bigger and more dense, and it's actually getting bigger and more dense the whole time as it sucks everything into it. So this Baal Teshuvah said, wait a second. For years in my adult life, I've been looking around and saying, hey, I can't see the Ribbono Shel Olam. If I can't see the Ribbono Shel Olam, who says there is a Ribbono Shel Olam? And then he realized when he learned the explanation what the black hole is, he says, you know what a black hole is? It's the opposite of a hole. The most dense, solid, real solid thing in the whole universe is what we thought was nothing. We thought it was a hole. It turns out that Punkt Verkehr Adarabba, the reason I can't see anything in the black hole is because it's the most solid, heavy, dense thing in the universe that it even pulls back its own light rays. What I thought was a hole of nothing, this black hole turns out to be the most real solid thing in the whole universe. Oh my gosh. And then I'm thinking, if I don't see with my eyes, I don't see Hadras Ponim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't see the Ribbono Shel Olam. That's my proof that he's not there, Chas v'sholom. The black hole, the reason I can't see it is because it's the most real thing. Maybe the reason, lahavdil, I can't see the Ribbono Shel Olam is because my eyes, it's a problem with my eyes seeing the godless of the Ribbono Shel Olam. Like the Tana told the Roman emperor, you want to see the Ribbono Shel Olam, look into the middle of the sun. He says, I can't do that. He says, you can't look into the middle of the sun at midday. You want to see one of the Meshorsim of the Ribbono Shel Olam. You can't even look at the Meshoris of the Ribbono Shel Olam. You want to look at the Ribbono Shel Olam himself? We're too small to see the Ribbono Shel Olam. And I'm using that fact that I can't see the Ribbono Shel Olam as a proof that where is he? HaKadosh Baruch Hu occurred everything. And that's what inspired this guy to become Baal Teshuvah. Now, okay, guys, I'm going to tell you a fantastic couple of stories now. Now, you have never heard anything or seen anything like what I'm about to show you. Firstly, okay, so a few weeks ago, Baruch Hashem, I had corona and got over it. Baruch Hashem, I'm fine. Baruch Rofei Cholim. I was in the Corona Hotel, the Haredi Corona Hotel, so as not to infect the rest of my family. And I met there a guy called Dr. Avi Factor from Ramat Bet Shemesh. Maybe some of you know him, an American guy. This guy, Dr. Factor, was a doctor to Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky Zatzal, and he was also doctor to Rav Aaron Leib Steinman Zatzal. And he said to me, he's got some very interesting photographs that he would like to show me. He told me on Shabbos, Motzi Shabbos, and he's emailed me these photographs. Now, this actually is not a photograph which he sent me. This is a picture of Rav Itzikel. Can you all see the picture? This is Rav Itzikel from Antwerp. He was a big tzaddik. This picture actually was drawn by my uncle Zalman Weiner, Oliver Sholem, who was a fantastic Jewish artist, and he drew this picture of this tzaddik, Rav Itzikel. So Avi Factor, he showed me this picture on his phone, and he said in 1973, his father's friend was in Antwerp, and he needed to travel to London, and he didn't have a passport. And he says, what am I going to do? An emergency, I've got to be in London tomorrow, and I've got no passport. It's going to take me weeks to get a passport. What am I going to do? So they told him, well, go to Rav Yitzchak in Antwerp and ask him for an eitzah. He'll tell you what to do. So this guy goes to Rav Yitzchak Zatzal, and he says to Rav Yitzchak, tomorrow I've got to be in London. It's an emergency. I have to be there, but I've got no passport. What do I do? So Rav Yitzchak said to him, it was Motzi Shabbos. And Rav Yitzchak said to him, He says, "Do you have a Zemiris? A Zemiris you have at home?" He says, "Yeah, I got a Zemiris." So Yitzchak told him, "Take your Zemiris and give that as your passport." What? No, that's what Yitzchak told him. I have here this guy's Zemiris from 1973, a picture of his Zemiris. This is the Zemiris which this guy gave in, and here is the stamp, Gatwick, 11th of May, 1973, Gatwick Airport, London. Maybe you can see the stamp and clear. This is a picture of the Zemiris. Rav Yitzchak says, take the Zemiris and give it as a passport. Here it is. Can you imagine that? This guy turns up to border control and they say passport. He's just flown from Antwerp and he puts a Zemiris from Motzi Shabbos. He puts a Zemiris on the table and they look at it and they stamp it and they let white wave him through. We have tzaddikim gedolim adayin. Now, if that story isn't fantastic enough, this story is going to blow your socks off. Because what I have in my hand here is probably the most amazing photograph I have ever seen in my life. Okay. So says Rav Factor, I've got another interesting photograph to show you. Now, it was recently the yortzeit of the Baba Sali Zatzal. Family Abu Chatzera come from a long line of great tzaddikim. They say the power, the koyach to the nisim and the niflois which happened by them. 1 second, sorry, let me just. Sorry about that. The power and the koyach they have is from Shmiras Einayim, Kedushas Shmiras Einayim. Right? They say the Baba Sali only saw 4 women in his whole life: his mother, his sister, and his wives. So the Baba Sali had tremendous Shmiras Einayim since he was a child. It's legendary. The family Abu Chatzera, Abir Yaakov, going back to Morocco, all these great tzaddikim have tremendous Shmiras Einayim. And with that kayach of Shmiras Einayim, they are able to do amazing things. The famous story with the guy in the Tivot who they were going to give him a nituach and cut off his legs the next day, and he went to the Baba Sali. The Baba Sali told him to stand up from his wheelchair, and the guy stood up and didn't need an operation and became a Baal Teshuva immediately. The famous stories, many stories of Baba Sali. I personally spoke to 3 people, 3 Eidim, who saw the famous story of Baba Sali and the bottle of arak. I spoke to 3 different people who saw the Baba Sali Zatzal take a bottle of arak, wrap it with a napkin so you couldn't see how much there was there, and give to 35, 40 people half a cup of arak from the same bottle, right? All these stories like that. So this Avi Factor went to Morocco with Reb David Abu Chatzera Shlita from Nahariya. A few years ago, he went to Morocco with him. They went on, he organizes trips to Mekomas HaKadoshim, and Reb David, if any of you ever travel to Nahariya, it's kedai to go to Reb David, Shlita Reb David Abu Chatzera, fantastic tzaddik, and there are many stories with him as well. In fact, my brother Mordechai went to Reb David Abu Chatzera in Nahariya a few years ago. He said the guy in front of him went in there, and Reb David pointed to his pocket, his left pocket, and clicked his fingers and said, "Yesh lecha machshir lo tov bakis." You've got a trefa phone in your pocket. Right, that happened in front of my brother, Reb David. Right. There was also recently about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, there was a woman. Reb David doesn't see women, so there was a woman from Yedi Achronot, I think it was, who dressed up as a man and wanted to get in to try and fool everyone. She wanted to say that she went to Reb David Abu Chatzera. So there's a Beis HaMedrash outside where everyone gathers, where you can, where you learn, you say Tehillim until you go into Reb David. So this woman was there dressed up as a man. No one knew. She was dressed up as a chassid or whatever. And suddenly Reb David starts banging on the stender in the next room. He says, go check, there's a woman next room, there's a woman in the next room. They found her, they kicked her out. So you don't mess with Mishpachas Abu Chatzera. But listen to this story. This is absolutely fantastic. And I won't delay anymore. Okay. So Avi Factor travels with David Abu Chatzera to Morocco. And over there, while he's with Rav David pulls out a cardboard photograph and shows him this photograph and tells him what the story behind this photograph is. He says Rav David Abu Chatzera himself and Avi Factor took a photograph of this photograph, which Rav David was holding, and he told me the following thing. He said, in 2008, it was Leil Chanukah, and a Chiloni, an irreligious guy, comes to Rav David, and it was just before, sometime before Chanukah Licht, and he tells Rav David, he says, tomorrow I'm going to marry a shiksa, Rahman al-Islam. So Rav David says, you crazy? You're going to marry a guy? You're mad? So this Cheloni says quite brazenly to Rav David, tomorrow I marry the shiksa. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, you do a miracle for me now, you do a nace, and I won't marry the shiksa. And if you don't do a nace, tomorrow I'm going to get married to her. No. So Rav David said to him, and Rav David told this to Dr. Avi Factor from Bet Shemesh. Rav David said to him, he said, well, come and light Hanukkah lights with us. At least stay and come and light Hanukkah lights. So Rav David lit the Hanukkah, lit the menorah, and from the flame of what he'd lit, probably from the shamas, he took a piece of paper and he made a little fire in front of the menorah, next to the menorah. And from this fire, smoke came out. And from the smoke came out the face of an old man. And this old man started shouting at the Chiloni, you're going to marry the shiksa tomorrow, you're going to be finished, you're going to burn in Gehenna Lo'elam Voed. And Kamuvan, after such a mareh, this Chiloni did teshuvah and didn't marry the shiksa the next day. Now, the family Abu Chatzera were there, and they took a photograph of this guy's face, this old man's face. Maybe it was the grandfather or the great-grandfather of this Choloni, and they took a photograph of this mareh of the face in the smoke, and I have the picture here to show you. Oh, you can't see it. Do you want to see it? Okay. Now, it's not such a great photo, but if anyone who wants it from email, I'll give it you the email. Here is the smoke. Can you see? It's like a side view. There's his nose, his eyes, and his beard. There's this beard. Can you see the face?
Can you send it to us by email?
I will send it to you by email. You can see it now. It's like he's looking down from here. It's like you're looking in from the side view, and he's looking down.
Can you do a shared screen?
Holding it upside down.
If Daniel,
No. But you see, look, I'll put my finger around the whole head.
you can do a
There's
shared
the
screen.
head.
It's upside down.
It's not upside down. You can. Okay, I'm going to point with my
I see
finger.
it.
You'll suddenly see it. I couldn't see it at first. There's the nose. There's one of the eyes. Another eye. There's the mouth. There's the mouth. And there's the little beard. And you can actually see he's got a hat. Maybe not so clear. Anyone who wants the email, send me an email, and I will send you all the email of this picture. You can actually
What's your
see
email
Reb
address?
David. Over here is Reb David Shliter's thumb as he's holding the photograph for Avi Factor to take a picture of the photograph. So this is a digital photo of the photo of David. There's the fire. You can see the fire going up. And there you see the face of this man. And in Reb David's own words, this face was shouting at this guy and telling him not to marry the shiksa, which is what happened, Baruch Hashem. Okay. Crazy stuff, I know. Now, okay, wow, we're running out of time. So, Rabbi Sai, listen to this. Why did Moshe have to run
What's the
away?
email address?
We'll give it to you at the end. Don't worry. We'll give it to you at the end. I'll give it to you now just in case anyone wants to write it down. Dons77@gmail.com. That's DONS, Delta, Oscar, November, Sierra, Dons77@gmail.com. You can send me an email and whatever you want. Okay. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Sai, have to run away to Midian? We know the Maisa that Moshe saw Dosom v'Aviram, they were fighting, and he said, Rosh Hashanah Masake Esreyecha, and they turned around to him, they said, you're going to kill us like you killed the Mitzri. Moshe said, they're going to be Malshin, and they were Malshin, and Moshe Rabbeinu was taken, and they wanted to chop Moshe Rabbeinu's head off, and Moshe Rabbeinu's neck turned to marble, and the sword bounced off Moshe Rabbeinu's neck, killed the executioner, and Moshe Rabbeinu ran from the palace, and had to run to Midian. And then Moshe Rabbeinu gets a nice shidduch, and he marries Sapira. Wow. Why did Moshe have to run to Midian? Says the Chofetz Chaim. The Chofetz Chaim says the Rabbeinu Shloim arranged it for Moshe Rabbeinu to run to Midian. HaKadosh Baruch Hu arranged it. Why? Because had Moshe Rabbeinu been in Mitzrayim, he would have been so overwhelmed by the tzoros of the Yidden, Moshe Rabbeinu would have davened so much that he would have brought the Geula. So what a fantastic, brought the Geula. But he would have brought the Geula early, too early. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has been doing shtick since Avraham Avinu, the Bris Bein of B'Sharim, said Bameh Eida, and because of that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Abba Mois Shona Geri Yer Zarecha Beretz Leilahem. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though he promised 400 years, that's why I changed it to 210 years, and 210 years becomes less than 210 years because the Shibbut is so intense. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing shtick the whole time to shorten the tzoros of the Shibbut. But every single moment of the Shibbut is necessary, according to the Rabbeinu Shloim Cheshbon. And if Moshe Rabbeinu were to be in Mitzrayim, then Moshe Rabbeinu would daven, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have to answer Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillahs because they're fervent tefillahs, and because of that, what would happen? The Geula would come too early. There would be a chov. Klal Yisrael would have a chov of tzoros, and they'd have to pay that off. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to get rid of the tzoros early, as soon as possible. It wasn't. What you can ask the following question. Listen to this question. Why did Hashem bring 10 makkahs on the Mitzrayim? Weeks and months of tzoros. When Klal Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, they were on the Memtes Shari Tumah. Chazal say, had they been in Mitzrayim one more moment, one more second, it would have been too late. One more second would be too late. If one more second would be too late, what were they doing there? With all that, I understand the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing he's doing all these things for the Mitzrayim and to inspire Klal. But every second they're there, is it getting worse and worse? Who needs it? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu leave Klal Yisrael in there while Hashem was busy kaviyachol with the makkahs? No, mistake. Every second they're in Mitzrayim is madud. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly how long the Golos have to be and exactly how long they have to be in Mitzrayim. And in the meantime, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing the makkahs. Every second of tzoros, every second a person has a headache, and then suddenly realizes he's got some acamol in the cabinet, and he takes it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu measured the time that he's going to realize that he's got the acamol, and if he hasn't, how long is it going to take him to get to the chemist, and how long he's going to stand in line to get the acamol, and then when he pops the acamol in his mouth, Hashem has measured to the second how long it is going to take before the acamol takes away his headache. And that's not only the measurement with a headache, it's the measurement with the tzoros of Shibbut of Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim, and it's the medidah of every tzoros Klal Yisrael will ever have. You know, my brother has a brother-in-law called Moshe Eisenberger. Moshe Eisenberger from London. Rabbi say, listen to this. You know, my Makas Dam, you all know that you had a cup and the Yid is sucking from a straw. He's sucking water from coming up the straw. And the Mitzri puts a straw inside the same cup. And what goes up? Dam, blood. He has to pay the Jew to get some water. Right? He says, you know, with this corona, the terrible sorrows which so many people have suffered through corona. So listen to this. I came to Rav Matis Deutsch Shlita and I told him, I said, my brother tells me his brother-in-law, 4 years ago, he lost his sense of smell. He had a polyps in his sinuses. And Nebuch, for 4 years, he can't taste and can't smell. 2 years ago, he had an operation and it didn't work. Nebuch, 4 years, the guy hasn't tasted anything. He said, so about a month ago, Moshe Eisenberger gets coronavirus in London. And he's in his London house in Golders Green, and he's in the loft 3 flights up, and his wife is cutting onions in the kitchen 3 flights below, and Moshe Eisenberger screams out, whoa, what's that smell of onions? Turns out that coronavirus has activated his sense of smell, and for 10 days, he had superhuman smell, 10 times the range of ability to smell than a human being. And 10 days later, after the coronavirus, it calmed down. He's totally cured. He can taste and smell. And that's after 4 years of not tasting and smelling anything. I told this to Ramatis Deutsch. I said, coronavirus cured him. So Ramatis told me, he says, I know a woman in Eretz Yisrael who is in a wheelchair for 20 years. He says 20 years, a month ago, she got coronavirus and they thought that's finishing her off. A few days after coronavirus, she gets up from the wheelchair and she's walking around. Coronavirus has cured her from her being paralyzed. Lo Yuman. I told another guy, and he told me, I know someone else who got their sense of smell back from coronavirus. For one person, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be a sama moves, and for another person, it can restore his sense of smell, which he lost 4 years ago. And Mistoma, had he not got coronavirus, he would never smell Nebuch for the rest of his life. 4 years and an operation, nothing helping him. Everything's the Rabbeinu Shalom. You know, when I told this to, I said when I came out the Corona Hotel, spoke to my Mechutim, Ruchaim Zev Finkel, I said to him, I said, why did I have to wait 50 years to lose my sense of smell after coronavirus? To thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the fact that I tasted food for 50 years. He said, you know, you can live absolutely fine, no problem at all, eating your food like the Nochosh without tasting anything. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give you a bit of hana. Yeah? So he said, so Chaim says, you know, I heard this vort. What does it mean in Berachas HaMazon? Who knows in lechem l'chol basar b'chein b'chesed u'v'rachamim. What's b'chein? B'chein is the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you your food is one thing. Or b'chein, Hashem gives you it with such chein, He wants you to taste it and enjoy your food. You didn't have to enjoy your food. You could eat, put fuel in the engine, and sa tadlek v'sa. Who needs to enjoy it? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I want you to enjoy your food. And not only enjoy your food, there's going to be so many tens and hundreds and thousands of different flavors. And some people like pomegranates, and some people like tangerines, and some people like meat, and some people like pizza, and some people like lasagna. And there's going to be so many different. Everyone's a different experience, so you could be nehene. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives it b'chein, b'chesed u'v'rachamim b'chein. The extra tip HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, and you know what? Not only should you eat, but enjoy it as well, Rabbi. So enjoy it. So you're able to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu and get a mitzvah for thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why do we have to wait till chas v'shchalila we lose our sense of our smell and taste to suddenly realize, how many times in the last 50 years have I thanked the Rabbeinu Shalom that I tasted my food? How many times? Okay, so listen to this. So when the Chofetz Chaim said this word about why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to run to Midian, because had he been in Mitzrayim, he would have been so overwhelmed by the tzaras, he would have davened and brought the Geula too earlier than HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted the Geula to come. So Rav Moshe Landinsky Zatzal was there. Rav Moshe Landinsky said, the Chofetz Chaim agreed with him. He said, by the Churban Beis HaMikdash, Yirmiyah HaNavi was not in Yerushalayim. Maybe Yirmiyah HaNavi was not in Yerushalayim because had Yirmiyah the Navi been in Yerushalayim, what would have happened? Yirmiyah would have davened in Yerushalayim. The Navi davening in Yerushalayim would have stopped the Churban. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want that, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to take out the Charain Af on the Eitzim Va'avonim and Chlas V'Shrolem. That shouldn't be the Charain Af on Klal Yisrael. There's a cheshbon for every single thing, and every moment that the person suffers Chas V'Shrolem in this world, it's madud. It's madud to the second. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is running everything. You know. Connected with this, the Medrash is an amazing Medrash. The Medrash says when HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Moshe to go to Parai, so he says, go to him early in the morning. So we all know what Rashi says. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe to go to Parai in the morning? He says because Parai, he pretended he was a god, and a god doesn't need any bathroom, doesn't need to go to the toilet at all, right? So there were no toilets in Paro's palace. Can you imagine the chorus he went through just for his gaiva to pretend he was a god? Of course, he wasn't a god at all, and he needed the toilet very, very badly. And he would hold himself until he got to the Nile in the morning, and his morning tevila. That's when Paro went to the toilet. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rashi tells us, and Moshe Rabbeinu goes there and meets him as he's going down to his, right? Who are you trying to fool, Moshe Rabbeinu? Look at him. You think there's no toilets in the palace? Can you imagine the tzaras, this idiot Paro, just to pretend he was a god, right? If he ate too much that day, he must have been going nuts the whole day. But waiting till the morning where he could go to the toilet in the Ya'ar, in the Nile. What some people do just for gaiva, right? So the Medrash says a different reason. The Medrash says an amazing different reason. Listen to this. Oh, this is so inspiring. The Medrash says HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe, go to Paro early, because if you get to him too late in the day, Paro might daven to me. And if he davens, he might be able to stop any gezeras against him with his tefillah. Paro, who shechted 300 Jewish babies every day and bathed in their dam, bathed in their blood, the Medrash says, could daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and potentially stop the gezerah against him. As our Rosha can daven and stop the gezerah, which is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent Moshe, says, go to him before he can daven. Because if he davens, it's going to be too late. That's the tefillah of the stinking Rosh Parai. Can you imagine the power of the tefillah of a Yid who wakes up in the morning and says, Meideh ani lefonecha? He puts on tefillin, he makes a bracha. The tefillah of a little girl who makes a bracha on an apple and who keeps Shabbos. The tefillah of a yingala, a boy who says Birchas Hamazon with a bencha and says Azones Ha'ilon Kuloi B'Tuvoi. Can you imagine the tefillah of a Yid? One Yid, the tefillah. If Parai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu warns Moshe, Tizaher from the tefillah of Parai Arosha. Can you imagine the power of the tefillah of a Yid? And can you imagine the power tefillah of 10 Yidden, a minyan? Can you imagine the power? Rabbi said, don't underestimate the power of tefillah. Every moment, every second of tefillah is gold, and you will see in Shamayim. He says, that's what was happening when I was davening. Amazing! I can't believe it. I would have davened so much more intense, and I realized HaKadosh Baruch Hu is listening. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mis'avel tfiloson shel tzadikim. Of course, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is listening. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is listening even to the tefillah of a stinking Rasha like Parai, which is going to be effective, and Moshe Rabbeinu gets warned that it's going to be effective. Allah has come, Kal v'chayva ben Benoshel, Kal v'chayma, the tefillah of a Yid and the tefillah of a Tzaddik. Okay, so I want to get to the following point. You know, we said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave a gezerah, he gave gezerah to Klal Yisrael for 400 years. You're going to be in Golus. Avraham Avinu said, Bameh Eida. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Yodoya Teida. Ki ger yezarecha aba moishana. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing shtick the whole time. Hashem is doing shtick to make the 400 really 210 and the 210 to be less. It's not just with Golus Mitzrayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing shtick. Listen to this. There is a mitzvah. There's a mitzvah called Shluach Haken. I'm sure you know the very famous mitzvah of Shluach Haken. Shluach Haken is you're going down the way and you see a nest and you want to take the little chickens in the nest, or you want to take the eggs, so you shoo away the mother bird, right? So let me tell you, I came out once. I came out of yeshiva late at night in Neve Yaakov once. Sorry. And I see a dead cat on the floor. There's a dead cat by the garbage bin. There's a dead cat. And I noticed something very interesting. The friend of this dead cat, there was another cat. He's walking around the dead cat and he's trying to wake him up. He's never seen the live cat, had never seen a dead cat before in his life. And he's biting his leg and pulling him. And he sees the dead cat doesn't move, and he goes around the other side to the head and he pushes him with his head. And then he bites him on his back and he's trying to move him and he's kicking him. He's saying, it's clearly the live cat is saying, wake up, why are you sleeping? Wake up, we want to play, we got to go somewhere, we got to find food. The dead cat's not moving. And it was such a heartbreaking sight to see the live cat. How long is he going to go until he realizes your friend's dead, mate? He's not moving. That cat is not moving. So from looking at this live cat, I realized I had the following question. It wasn't only from there, but it reminded me, what sort of mitzvah is this Shluach Hakan? That, what do you think happens when the mother bird flies back? She flies back to the nest, and what does she see? She sees the eggs, or she sees the live chicks which she'd left there are gone. Do you think she doesn't realize that the chicks are gone? What's going through the mind of the mother bird when she comes back? What sort of mitzvah is this? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, you got to be kind to the mother bird and shoo away the mother bird. Shoo away the mother bird. You shoo away the mother bird. What's going to happen when the bird flies back? She's going to forget that she had children. She's gone to go and find worms to feed the children. When she comes back with the worms, she sees they're gone. She thinks, oh, my kids are gone. So what? Carry on. Surely this bird must be going through some sort of trauma when you take away the chickens, the chicks, or the beitzim from the nest. So what sort of mitzvah is this? In the same way as clearly I could see the distress of the live cat when he comes and tries to wake up his friend, the dead cat. Can you imagine if his friend suddenly went missing? Listen to this, Rabbi Sai. This is absolutely amazing. The Rekanti explains B'Shem Zayar. The Rekanti says like this. He says, do you know what's going on with Shluach Hakan? Listen. He says, when you shoo away the mother bird comes back, and she taka sees in the nest there's no Ephraim. They've gone missing. She taka sees them missing. And she screams with such a heart-rending scream to Shamayim, Oi, where are my children gone? Where are my children? Do you know what happens? The Malachim Shamayim, they all hear the scream of the mother bird. Not only do the good Malachim hear, the Kitrugim, all the Averas you've done, Chas v'Sholem, create bad angels. All those bad angels, those Kitrugim, they scream out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and they say, oi, we can't hear it. We can't hear the scream of the mother bird. The poor mother bird. If you've taken away how could Rabbi Shalom, and how could you let this happen to the poor mother bird that she loses her chicks? We can't bear the cry of the mother bird. This is the bad angel saying this in Shemayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu turns round to the Kitrugim, to all your Averas. You know what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says? He says, about the mother bird, you're worried about her tzoros, about a yid who's got no Torah mitzvahs, about a yid who got up in the morning and said, Meida Ani, and he's got a headache, he's got no parnosa, he needs a shidduch. That you're not worried about. He does my mitzvahs, and you're not worried about his tzoros. Oh, but the mother bird, how can it be the mother bird comes back? Watch this, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu as an excuse to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Kitrugim have said, hey, it's not fair, the poor mother bird. It was shtick. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, look what's going to happen. The Kitrugim are going to come to me and say, not fair. And I'm going to say, oh, not fair. And about the mother bird, you're worried. But about the Yidden, you're not. Watch this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu opens up the heavens, and all bracha comes, and not only on that Yid who did Shluch HaKan, but on all the Yidden in the world. So it turns out Shluch HaKan is a shtick kaviyachol, HaKadosh Baruch Hu to have an excuse to bring bracha on Klal Yisrael. Hashem says, you know what? I know what's going to happen when you do Shluch HaKan. The mother bird's going to come back, and she's going to scream, and the malachim are going to hear, and the malachim are going to say, it's not fair. And I go to say, it's not fair. It's not fair for the bird. What about the Yidden? That's not fair. That didn't bother you. So shut up, Kidrukim. You have nothing more to say. And let me bring bracha on Klal Yisrael. In the next minute or so, I'm going to give you a treat. I am going to play you a song on the guitar. Okay. I hope, can you, have you been, is the audio good? Can you hear me good, you guys? Can you hear me good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's a song. I'm going to play you on the guitar, and you tell me what you think. It went down very well. It went down very well in the Corona Hotel. You see, it says, there it says my name, Don's on the guitar, on the Fender Stratocaster. Can you hear? Can you hear? Can you hear the guitar?
Yeah.
Can you hear me speaking with the guitar?
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen. We'll finish off with a song called I'm a Learning Torah. Oh, I'm a learning Torah, striking all the time. I'm a learning Torah, with Rabbi of the mind. Oh, I'm a learning Torah, doing just fine. I'm a learning Torah, and the Torah is mine. I'm a learning Torah, striking all the time. I'm a learning Torah, Rabbi. Oh, I'm a learning Torah, doing just fine. I'm a learning Torah, I'm a Torah is a man. Na na la 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 la. Do 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 do.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I hope you enjoyed the share.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Daniel Hool.
Thank you very much.
We really enjoyed you
What's your
tonight.
email address?
My email address is dons77, and I will email you the pictures if you want. Show them to your friends. DONS. You see it says Don's Hool under my name? DONS, it says Don's Hool under
Put it
my
on
name.
the chat.
What?
You could write it in the chat.
I can
There's no
write,
chat.
I don't know how to do this. It's not that, it's
There's
not
no
rocket
chat.
science. DONS, dons77@gmail.com.
By the way, Dr. Factor's son was at camp 2 years ago.
77 or 777?
There's 2 sevens. DONS77@gmail.com.
then
Okay, thank you very, very much, Rabbi
My
Daniel
pleasure.
Hool. We really enjoyed it tonight. We really let it all go.
he did.
Wow.
Okay.
It's been a whole hour and everybody's almost everybody's still here. That's pretty amazing.
after the 7.
Sleeping.
We still
What's after
have
the
on
7?
schedule tonight.
Okay, I must go. I've got to share. Cold love.
Thank you so much.
So,
Bye-bye.
We still have on the
Thank
we still have on the we still have on the schedule tonight our picture competition.
Yeah.
Right? You guys all staying up? Your mothers let you stay up? It's all good? Okay.
You want 3 months?
So here it goes. I'm gonna show you the pictures, and afterwards we're gonna do a poll, which means you can vote. Who wins? And where's the prize? Where's the prize? Where's the prize?
Like,
No. Yeah. We have
That's not too bad.
we have a special light here for your bike. You can see it.
No.
Now you can see it.
yeah.
It's a special light for your bike. It is an LED bicycle light, and it looks pretty cool. All right. So we're gonna 1 second. We're gonna take it to a shared screen. Let's see if it works. Where's the pictures? Nope. Oh, come on. 1 second. No, it's not that. No, that's not that. Oh, here it is. Okay, and our first picture tonight is our good friend Rabbi Mermelstein, who's still wearing the same t-shirt. And he is in Bidud. I'm not sure what's Bidud about the picture, but he's in Bidud. And he is recording a new recording for a song that he's probably going to play and sing here on Zoom. Is that right, Avrami? Avrami, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to, Avrami. He's hiding away. I think he's embarrassed because he's still wearing the same t-shirt right now. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Avrami, you're still wearing the same t-shirt, right? Oh my gosh. How does it work? The whole time while you're in Bidud, you wear the same t-shirt? Is that why no one comes in the room with you? I can't hear you. All right, next picture is Elitri Verbov. Oh my gosh. That's why during Corona, there's no toilet paper in the stores, because Elitri Verbov went shopping. All right. Okay, our next picture is the Mendelewitzes. And if you take a closer look, you'll see he wrote MBH, which stands for, of course, Machnavinas Manim. And he's even learning in his bed there. I hope it's for real. And his younger brother's on Zoom watching our shir. Okay. All right, that's the first one. Oh, the first one's also computer. I thought it was a Gemara. Okay, no. They both have a computer and they're both watching Zoom in their bed. And the parents are obviously far away. All right, and the next picture is, wow. Mordechai Moser is giving an international shir, it seems, on Zoom, on the phone, and he's got 4 phones.
Too many people.
And he's obviously got a lot.
1, 2.
Okay, no, I think you should go away from there. He's got 4 phones and about 5 Gemaras. And if you could send us the Shtickle Torah by email, we'd like to see it.
5 phones.
Chas v'shalom, there's no iPhones there. Chas v'shalom. They're all
5 phones. 5 phones. 5.
Oh, you're right. I see a
And
5th phone.
Zoom.
You're right. I see
Oh,
5
5.
phones. I missed the
And
white one.
Zoom.
I missed the white
And
one.
Zoom.
And Zoom, of course. So he's got 5 phones and Zoom, and he should send me the Shtickle Torah by email. And here we have the Shwarmza, Penny Shwarmza, is in his personal cheder bidud. And what safe is that? I'm not sure. But it looks pretty impressive. Then we have Shmuley Shwarmza, who's really locked up. Okay, and he's trying to get out. Okay, well, hopefully one day he'll get out if he does. Then we got the Sangalovskis. I'm not sure what time this is. I hope it's before Chatzos when he was davening. But there you are. He's it looks like Pesach over here. He's got sheets on all the walls. Wow. Then the next Sangalovsky is doing a climbing wall in his something like that. And the next Sangalovsky is emptied out the library and he's having a great time reading during his bidud. He's got nothing else to do. Oh, he's got his teddy bear at the bottom there. Okay, then we've got the Etlingers. I'm not sure when he was in bidud. He's been in bidud since Hanukkah. I'm not sure what's going on here. But Hanukkah was quite a few weeks ago. I think this picture should automatically be disqualified. Okay, maybe not. But no one say this doesn't count as bidud. You see all the other menorahs next to him. So it can't be his in bidud unless everyone's in bidud. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on here. Then Yehuda Lev Yaakovson is trying to break out of his bidud. He looks like he's quite high up. Wow, what floor do you live on? You must be on like 7th or 8th floor. Is the Yaakovsons here? Are they on Zoom?
Hell yeah.
What floor are you on?
7.
7th
I
floor.
tried to go
Wow.
to the boat down.
Oh, wow. That's a nice view you got. And then we've got the Yosef Chaim Yaakovson, who said you got to keep 2 meters away from him. And he looks like he's going to give that corona test dressed up in a plastic like that. Wow. Okay. And the next, oh, that's the last picture. All right. So we're going to stop. We're going to go through the pictures again quickly so you can get to vote. We've got Avrami Mermelstein upside down. We've got Elie Verbov in his toilet paper. We have the Mendelewitzers. We have Monachem Moser giving a Zoom share and 5,000 people on the phone. We've got Penny Schwarmzer in his bidud room and Shmuley Schwarmzer in his little sister's crib or wherever it is. And we got the Sangalovskis, 1, 2, and 3. We got the Etling over here, and we got Yehuda Leib Yaakovson trying to break out, and Yosef Chaim Yaakovson in bidud. And here we stop this. Okay, you guys ready? Here's the poll. You get to vote on your screen. Yeah, Shmuley, you want to vote? Oh no, everyone can vote besides me. All right. So everyone get to vote.
No one's voting.
You need to vote. You need to click on whatever you want to vote for.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, Avrami Milstein, you voted for yourself. What happened there?
Oh, he's not the one.
Okay, everyone vote for whoever you want to vote for. Come on. Only 14 people have voted so far.
Mordechai Moser is winning.
Who's winning?
Mordechai Moser.
Oh, they can see.
Yeah, 31%.
Don't tell anyone. Shh, quiet. They can't see who's winning. Everyone get to vote. Come on, 17 down, 18. Very good. Got 24 screens, so 19. Come on, who's left? Okay, in the 5 seconds, we're going to stop the voting. Everyone else want to vote? So click now, and here we are. We end it. Here, 1 second. There. And the winner is. Here, we're going to share results. Here, and the winner is Mordechai Moser. Wins tonight's picture competition with 5 votes. 24% of tonight. Okay.
Can I see this picture?
You want to see the picture again of Mordechai Moser giving you the share? Okay. Where's it? Oh, here he is. Here's the picture of Mordechai Moser steiging away. Very good. Okay. Now we're gonna do. It's getting late, but we're gonna do a little competition. We need you to guess who is singing. Now, don't scream out all at once. Do one of the reactions on your screen, and we'll call on you, and you tell me if you know who he is. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you something interesting about that singer. You guys ready? Yeah, you ready? And here comes the singer. 1 second. Yes. No.
MBD.
Wait, 1 second. It seems it's a. Okay.
David.
I'm taking one of Nia.
Okay.
I'm taking one of those.
Mordechai and David.
No.
Yaakov's here.
No.
I'm free.
No.
Shlomi Simcha.
Who said that?
Shmuel Yafet.
Who said Shlomo Simcha?
Shmuel Yafet.
The Schwarmzers. Very good. Now, here you are. Take a look. You recognize him? Okay, guys, you see him on screen, right? How would you like to see Shlomo Simcha here on Zoom? Anyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you like this.
Yeah.
I have spoken to Shlomo Simcha,
Yes.
and I'm going to be calling him again, maybe very soon, like maybe later tonight. And it's very possible you'll get an email if it works out, that Shlomo Simcha will be joining us here at Machane Bein Zmanim Zoom program on Sunday night, live, together with, you'll find out. Okay, so it's very possible, but Ezras Hashem, on Sunday night, it's waiting to be confirmed. I need to give him a call, but I already spoke to him once. He agreed in principle. We hope that Shlomo Simcha will be joining us here live. Now, we had a question. We said the other day, with when Rabbi Spiro spoke. And as I told you in Tells Cleveland, Reb Chaim Stein, where I learned and Rabbi Spiro learned, was very he lived to be 99 years old. And he said that you meant to have past Shachris. So we want to know who here on Zoom had this morning past Shachris, but that includes, of course, that you davened a normal time. And I'm going to call on somebody in a minute, and it includes that you benched afterwards with a bencher, sitting down.
Past Shachris is also Mezainis.
No. Past Shachris means to wash. Sorry, and it means that you wash and you had a kibetza and you made on Sudam and you bent with a bench. Now I'm gonna do
The
a
Robergs did.
okay. Well,
Wow.
Sandy, we heard you. Don't worry. Now 1 second. I'm gonna do a random number generator. 1 second of 24 screens. And okay. Yeah, 24 screens. I'm not gonna show it to you. I'm just gonna do it. And it comes to screen 14, which comes to Maishi Malka. Maishi Malka, how are you?
Okay.
You meant to say
I didn't
Baruch Hashem
bench.
amazing.
I didn't eat bread. I davened.
Okay, so we're gonna move on.
What?
We're gonna move on to someone else then. We're gonna do another random number generator. It comes to screen number 7, which comes to Moshe Elchanan Reitan. Moshe Elchanan, did you wash this morning?
Yeah.
Did you bench with a bencher?
Yeah.
So send me an email and Bli Neda. I hope I'll send everybody I owe the 50 shekel I owe them. And just keep up the pressure and we'll get it done sometime.
Thank you.
Okay, very good.
I have 50 shekels from the summer.
Yeah, 50 shekel from the summer. So send me an email and I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Ask your parents to send me an email with your parents' bank details and we'll send the transfer. Or you can come to my house. We're basically out of food, I hope. We're waiting now for our 7th corona test result.
I sent you the bank details and you didn't email back.
That's right, because I am very lazy and I've got to work up my midas at Slavis. But Be'ezras Hashem, if you send me enough emails, I will do it. Okay, so we're going to do another one of Who Learned this morning. Right, 1 second. We got, how many screens do we have left here? We've got 23 screens left. So here we are. Screen number 8 comes to Yisrael Meir Kolbrush. How are you? Are you Kolbrush from? Wait, unmute yourself there on. You're from Afir, right?
Yes.
How's your father? He's feeling better?
Yes.
Baruch Hashem. Okay, did you learn this morning? Before 1 o'clock. Did you learn this morning?
No.
Did he go to Cheder today? No. Did you learn this morning?
Not in the morning.
At least you're honest. Okay, so we're going to move on to someone else. And next time it lands on you, the rules are basically you need to learn in the morning, start before 1 o'clock. And are you in Cheder or Yeshiva Tana?
I'm in Mechina.
Mechina? It says Mechina Cheder or Mechina Yeshiva Tana. Maybe we should have a vote. But okay, you need to learn at least half an hour, 40 minutes in the morning, and you have to be dressed, and you have to be sitting on a chair, and you have to have your Gemara open in front of you if you're learning on your phone with your Rabbi or whatever it is. And or you learn with your father, or you learn on the phone. But if you learn on the phone, it has to be with your Gemara open, and you have to be following with your Rabbi. And pajamas is illegal. No learning in pajamas. All right. So next time, if you want to qualify for one of the prizes, that's what you need to do. Okay. Well, now we're going to move on to someone else. Okay. Now we came to screen number 16 on my computer. That comes to Yosef Chaim and Yehuda Leib Yakovson. How are you? So what's your name? The one who's on screen.
Hi.
Oh, you're both on screen. Well, it's too late. Your brother was on screen first. The one with the biggest smile. What's your first name? Oh, your brother's gone. Hi. Okay. Can't hear you. You got to speak up.
Yosef Chaim.
Yosef Chaim, did you learn this morning?
Yosef Chaim.
Yosef Chaim, we heard you now. Did you learn this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you dressed?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you learn on the phone? Or with your father or with a Rabbi? Who did you learn with?
I went to Cheder.
You went to Cheder? That's illegal. We're going to call the Mishtara. I know we're not. We're not going to do. What? Okay, we're not going to ask you which Cheder you're in. Okay, it's okay. We're not going to ask you which Cheder you're in. We're not going to snitch on you to the police. But when you were in Cheder, did you learn? Did you follow? Did you know which Gemara did you learn?
Kiddushin.
What, Kiddushin? Okay, very good. And you followed with your Rabbi?
What?
Did you follow? Did you learn? Or did you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't fall asleep? Very good. Okay, so tell your mother or your father to send me an email with your parents' bank details, and Be'ezras Hashem will send you a 50 shekel, okay? All right, it's getting late. It's almost 10:20. So, okay, we're going to wish you all a very, very good night. And we'll see you Be'ezras Hashem Sunday night. Until then, we wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.